It is bizarre, and that's the plight. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a pop quiz. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Actually, it's funny that you know what? I didn't even realize that I was saying that it's a pop quiz. I'm gonna make a gesture, and I want you to tell me if you. Oh, hold on. Here comes Steven. Here comes Steven. Right at 8 o'clock.
Right at 8 o'clock.
Whatever you do, Steven, don't get here early.
I won't. I listen.
Don't wear the right.
For the record, I was just watching it. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't rushing. I was just looking at the link.
Steven was watching us start to see if he wanted to join today. He's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? What time is it again?
Oh, that's funny.
All right, I want to see if you guys know what this is when I make this gesture. What does this mean? You ready? What does this gesture mean?
I'm so scared.
What's that mean? Anybody know?
Dang it. Should I know this?
I don't know.
My shirt is nice. I'm cool.
Okay, you guys, listen. You guys are helping. I was talking with someone today.
Is it what people refer to as drip? Like, no, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
No. Okay, before I answer, anybody watching know what when I do this, when I go, what that means?
You should take your shirt off.
So the person there we go. So somebody's got to know. The person that I did this to, or that I said it to, said, oh, this must be a New England thing. If I went like this, if I walked up and I was like, hey, Bridget.
I'd be like, did you flick a bug off of you? Like, what? I don't understand.
Amazing. So
tell me.
This is the thing called the collar pop. You guys have never heard the collar pop?
Like the what? The cobble pot?
Not the cobble pot. Collar.
That's a Batman villain.
If we were in New England, we'd say the collar pop. The collar pop.
Okay, the collar pop. The collar pop.
You do that when you're a little bit proud of something that you just did. When you have an accomplishment that you just did, that's the collar pop. Where here, Steven.
Pop collar. I can't do it without unbuttoning my shirt. But hey, don't put me on. Don't put me on.
See, Steven's doing the prep school. Steven's doing the prep school collar pop. I believe, and I don't know, maybe I made this up. Maybe I made this up, but I believe like you do something that you're proud of, a little accomplishment, you go, and it's called a collar pop. And then if you're not in person with the person, if you're just texting with them, you can say collar pop. Well, I did that.
Have you texted that to anyone?
I'm not going to. I'm going to text it to somebody.
So I said that to someone today in a text, and they wrote back 3 question marks, which means they're really questioning what I just said. But I was like, I showed them something. I was like, collar pop, and they were like, question mark, and I'm like, and then they wrote, did you misspell it? Is it color pop? I'm like, no, is that color pop?
You're so cool, Chris. You're cooler than me and Steve and Stefan.
I know. You're so much more hip than we are. My God, like we're talking about popping collars and like.
Try it right now. Hey, Bridget, you had 5 coaching sessions today. Congratulations.
Hold on.
See how awesome that goes?
Yeah, that does kind of go pretty well. I'm not gonna lie.
Did it look like I felt proud of myself or I was cool and like I helped a lot of people? I'm
yes.
Like, do I do like double if I feel like really, really cool about it? Or is it always just one?
I don't know. I have.
People are saying hi to themselves in the chat. Hi guys. We're Collar Pop. You're here with us. We're happy about it.
I have no verification that this is even a thing. I think I might have made this up. So here's what happens now. Everybody, you guys, you too, the people who are watching on all of our streams, the new thing, everybody's just conversing with each other. They don't care about this. This is the thing that you do. You're proud of something. Hey, look, you made the bed.
People should start recording videos. Celebrate yourself today. Like Michelle Murder. I want to see like just a random video.
Hey, yeah, my name is Michelle Murder. I just closed like 18 sales in a row.
Hashtag Collar Pop.
Hashtag no,
You would do it.
little boomerang. Make a little boomerang with that. Do
Oh.
you guys know what a boomerang is?
Okay, I know what a boomerang is.
Yes.
Okay, Chris, like we're not that far out of touch. Do I know how to make one? Not really, but I know what they are. No, I'm kidding.
Everybody starts doing it this week. You guys observe in society when you see someone doing it. Okay, when you see someone doing it, I don't know.
Larry, I want him to do it tomorrow morning. Just say at the epic meeting, just go. Change your water, change your life.
I think so. That's it. Boom. Okay. Well, that was a lot of nonsense. I really was expecting. Eileen is like, things are very different in New Jersey.
You don't do that.
No one's proud of anything in New Jersey. That's why they never invented the collar pop.
No one tells anybody.
I grew up in New Jersey and I moved to Florida. Boom. My water is the wateriest water that you can get. Boop.
I get people jobs. Boop.
Yep.
Eileen's like, boop.
I don't know. Maybe this isn't a thing. Maybe I made this up, but I believe it's called a collar pop. And now you all know. And we have spent literally 6 minutes talking about this. I expected to spend 60 seconds talking about it. 6 minutes.
I love that people ask you, is it a New England thing? I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so much.
It's kind of crazy.
Donna. Hi, Michelle. Collar pop. She's just saying it, writing it. I love it.
Everybody's saying it everywhere. Collar pop.
That's great.
Now, if you want to say it like you're from New England, here, I'll do this. I'll put this in the chat. If you really want to be like you're from New England, you go like that. I just put that in the chat.
The collar pop. The collar pop.
Read that, Bridget. Bridget, could you read that?
Collar pop.
The collar pop.
Bridget
we sound like we're from Boston, or it's like we're from Boston.
That would be this. Oh boy, if you see someone do the double collar pop, you know that they have had the best. Wow, Michelle Murder knocks it out of the park with the double collar pop.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
How was your month last month? I'll say it like this. Boom. Okay, well, you've all got it. So, I was thinking a lot about entrepreneurs. You guys know this. Boop, to end all the great lines. What does that mean?
Boop, the end to all great lines, meaning like I had a really great month this week. Boop.
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 Boop. Is that what she means? Is that what Chelsea
I think
means?
it's a reference to Betty Boop. I think it's a reference to Betty Boop. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it, Chelsea? Clarify this for us.
I think Chelsea says boop. Whenever Chelsea ends a good line, she ends it with boop. There was body fluid all over the floor. Got it all cleaned up. Boop.
Boop. Yep.
Boop. She says, "Yeah, that's it." I got to tell you that to me that sounds a little strange. Okay, that sounds a little strange. Boop.
Boop.
Could do this? Boop. Collar pop. Collar boop. That's a collar boop.
Combine them together. Make it really powerful action. Isn't that what we're talking about? Action tonight.
Well, yeah. Listen, I was thinking a lot about entrepreneurs because now the crowd's alive with the boop and the collar pop. But what are we going to do? I was thinking a lot about entrepreneurs this week, and I'm always trying to fine tune the people that I serve. There's a lot of people that I serve. I mean, thousands, and currently actively, I've got hundreds of people that I serve, and I'm always trying to help them with with the little things. And to really help accelerate their entrepreneurship and help accelerate their businesses. And I've come to realize, and Bridget, Stephen, you tell me what you think about this. I believe that there are two characteristics, and they are related, that you need to have to be successful as an entrepreneur. And I believe it's this. I believe as an entrepreneur, if you're going to grow and you're going to really dominate your market, you need to be able to make decisions and act quickly. You cannot drag your feet on decisions. You can't walk around in a daze of mysticism trying to figure out the decisions that you need to make to grow your business. Bridget, the people you serve, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Everyone that I talk to, I say, cut the term "I don't know" out of your vocabulary.
Yep.
Because as soon as you say, I don't know, your brain goes, oh, we don't know anything. We can't get on any direction, any path at all. So absolutely, 100%. We need to figure out how to get you launching into action and making the right decisions for yourself.
That's a really brilliant way of putting it, because I think what you've just said, and I'm going to just kind of rephrase it, is that saying, I don't know, literally you build the roadblock. Saying, I don't know, builds the roadblock in front of you. Stephen, what's your experience with this?
I completely agree, and it's like, you have to be careful about, it's like, I'm going to say this and it sounds so like, well, of course, but it's like, you have to be careful about the habits that you build when you're doing this kind of stuff, because if you start saying, I don't know, if you start coming up with objections, if you start coming up with reasons why this won't work, you may subconsciously start doing that consistently. And if you do that, you're not going to, the inverse of that is true, which meaning like, if you start attain that mentality of, you know what, I'm going to make this work no matter what. And I'm going to find the solutions no matter what. I'm going to make this topic for this article work, and I'm going to accomplish this topic. I'm not going to come up with reasons why it won't work. Then you'll build that habit and you'll blow through those doors, and you'll learn along the way.
Bridget, is it true that not making a decision is actually easier than making the decision?
No, it's actually way harder.
It was a trick question. It's a trick question. I agree with you. Go on. It's not easier.
Because when you don't make a decision, then you're constantly going in a billion different directions, because your habits create your path, or you create your habits that will ultimately create your path and your direction. So regardless, your programming, will get you to a destination. So if you just say, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to take action. Oh no, you will, but it's your habits, those things that you detest about, when you Netflix and chill, or when you, do those things that don't serve you, or when you eat a huge 3 bags of potato chips or whatever, you will naturally start to create your business or your habits or your life naturally. You're on autopilot. So unless you step into decisions and making decisions for yourself and getting clarity on what those are, then your habits are going to create your entire experience.
If you're exactly right about that. And tonight we're talking about the 2 characteristics you need to dominate as an entrepreneur. And I claim that those 2 characteristics are, you need to be able to make decisions and act quickly. And so to carry on with what you were just saying, Bridget, if you don't make a decision, if you can't get your head around, if you don't have the guts to make a decision about moving forward with something in your business, if you don't have the guts to do that, the decisions are going to be made for you. The world, everything is going to regulate you instead of you regulating yourself, because you don't make the decision. Okay, I'm going to use my program as an example. There are people that want to grow their businesses using free posts in their social media newsfeed, and they know that I'm the guy to teach them. And then they get on the call with me, and they hear about the program, and they're like, this sounds great. And then we talk about the price to get into the program, and they go, I'm going to need to think about this. And then, 6 months later, we come across each other, and they're like, oh, I'm still thinking about it. If you can't make a decision and act quickly, well, let's think about all the decisions that were made for you along that path. You made the decision not to explore how to grow your business. You lost opportunities for 6 months. Eileen Ryan's another great example. I've seen examples of that woman who took people who spent 10 months looking for a job because they didn't make the decision to go into her service. And the decisions were then made for them. And those decisions were, you're not hired. And then they elect to work with her, hired within a week or 2. Now they took control and they made decisions. So by your ability to make decisions and act on those decisions quickly is what's going to be the differentiator for you in your business. And it's true of everyone in all businesses in all walks of life, Stephen.
Well, do you want to, I kind of want to share on this. So the reality is,
Bridget, go.
You're always making decisions. You're just either making decisions that move you closer to achieving your goals or further away from achieving your goals. So you are always making decisions. Don't think for a second that you aren't making decisions. You are. You're just making bad or good ones. Think decisions that are moving you closer or further away from your goals. And what we were talking about earlier was that, when you allow your habits to create your reality, then you are living under the influence of circumstances, environment, situations, toxicity, the I don't knows, the confusion. And so when you make a decision, and commit to something, it gives you that confidence that you were craving from the beginning. And therefore, you start to become the influence in your life. And then you see all these doors start to open up for you, because once you make a decision, the next step manifests in front of you always, right? Wouldn't you guys say so?
When you make that decision to do that big thing, it just opens itself up to you. And tonight we're talking about your ability to make decisions and act quickly, and how that affects you as an entrepreneur, a business owner, coach, consultant, service provider, whatever it is that you do. Your ability to make decisions and act quickly influences how successful you're going to be. And at the end of this, in about 15 minutes, 14 minutes, I'm going to reveal the most important reason that it's important to make decisions and act quickly. But I'm going to wait till the end for that. Hang with us till the end. I know you'll be here, Stephen.
Of course. Well, what this really has me thinking about, and me, like I always bring in what I'm doing that week kind of into the talk, but I've gone through all my files from top to bottom and all my projects and all my different companies and projects and stuff. And I've really organized a lot of them. And it's really got me thinking about the power of organization. And to me, and I can't attest to other people. I can really attest to what works for me. And so it may work for you guys, and it may work for you. But what helps me make those quick decisions is when I feel organized. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you examples of this, right? Like I'll give you a micro example, and I'll give you a macro. So like on the micro level, if I needed to find a file on my computer, right? Could be a blog, could be a spreadsheet, could be a checklist. If I don't have those files organized, then it becomes very difficult. And the time that it takes for me to find it, I get lost in searching for it, right? But if I have it organized and I know where it's at, I can get there instantaneously. And so the same is true on the macro scale. Whereas like, let's say I have this certain amount of money set aside, and I say, you know what? I'm not going to try to do marketing. I'm going to spend this money and invest in myself and learn some with marketing. Then I go to talk to Chris about his program, and I've organized that side. Then all of a sudden investing that money is very easy because I've organized it. But if all of a sudden I made the decision, I'm not going to spend that money, and maybe I haven't organized that money to attribute to that, then boom, I'm going to have to reorganize things to get it ready to make the action happen. So if that organization's there, I think you're able to act faster. You're able to leverage some of that time and think more about the task, and not just like finding whatever you need to do the task.
Really brilliantly put. Eric Rosberg with the biggest brain on the show tonight comes at us with the Latin meaning of the word decide, which means to cut off. And I believe that is true. Yes. When you make a decision, you cut off all other options and you move straight forward towards something. Eric is that's brilliant. I'm glad he shared that with us tonight.
That's brilliant.
You are proof, Bridget.
Yes.
I can tell you're happy about that.
I am happy about that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant.
So what about? So we weighted heavily towards making decisions and the importance of making decisions, but that's only half of the equation. The other half of the equation is acting quickly, because you can make decisions quickly, and that's great. But the next thing that happens, the next domino to fall, is actually taking action. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs get real stuck in taking action because, listen, you can make a decision all day long. People make decisions that they're going to engage you as a coach for their life, their relationships, and their business. But it's taking the action on actually working with you that is going to have the effect on their lives. You can make decisions all day long, but when it's an hour before they're supposed to start, for example, and they're like, I can't do this. That's somebody who's not willing to act quickly. That's somebody who's not going to get results.
Well, it's all about making that commitment to your own personal growth, because you have to level up decision with commitment. commitment to something greater, commitment to, partnering with your future successful self, because that commitment, that decision requires action. So ask yourself, how are you going to launch that decision into action? Write it out. You and I, we are all proponents of writing things out, because it helps you to activate those subconscious levels of what's actually going on underneath the surface of your to-do list and all these other things that you think about on a daily basis. So when you write out these decisions that you want to achieve, and then write out how you're going to make them happen.
And Stephen, I'll toss it over to you in a second, but I do want to punctuate that by saying, maybe not everybody wants to be a high performer. And that's fine. That's fine. It takes a lot of different kind of people to make a society. And there are people who don't want to be a high performer. There are people who don't want to achieve greatness that's laid out for them. And there are people that don't want to build a business. There are people that, I always say, they revert to fine. I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And they just revert to, it's painful, isn't it, Bridget? It's painful.
It's the world's worst word. The word fine is like, it's just, oh, good Lord.
When someone says fine, you should be concerned.
Yeah, the connotations of that word are just vast right now.
Listen, I don't need to grow my business. I don't need to make, $30,000 a month. I just need to, I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Begging my family for business. Everything's fine. Not achieving what I want to achieve. Reverting to fine is the poison. It literally is a poison. But there are people who are like that. I don't understand it, but there are people who are like that. Stephen,
it's fine. Yeah, I agree with you guys, and really taking action. To me, it boils down, and I can tell you, I have lived as a writer. Like I've always been like a project doer, always with these art projects, and very similar to what you're talking about. Like there's a lot of people who will write an article, write a book, write a song, and they'll never show the world. I think there's a vast percentage of these people that do this, and what's always helped me is having deadlines. And really forcing myself, really because I've talked to a lot of people about this. Like you always, it's worth acknowledging that when we go to hit that publish button on social media, we feel that little bit of hesitancy sometimes, and it's like, and we all feel that. I think you guys probably feel that. I have felt that. No matter how long I've posted for years, and I still to some degree just feel even just a little bit, and it's like, so. But what I've cultivated myself to do is to acknowledge that feeling and hit publish anyway. And that, if you can cultivate that feeling within you and do it again and again and again, it'll snowball to where all of a sudden you don't feel nervous about showing someone this new project you're working on. You don't feel nervous about putting yourself out there on a high level, and I've seen people who are nervous about that get more used to it, and all of a sudden they're able to do it with confidence. But it's funny, I'll come to them like a year later and I'll talk to them about that feeling, and I'll be like, is that feeling still there? And they'll be like, it absolutely is. I'm still a little nervous. I'm like, excellent. Because that shows you that you can blow through it every time. You can break down that door every single time, and so I think that if you can cultivate that feeling, you'll be able to hit publish every time. You'll be able to hit publish every time.
Well, and what I love about you, what you just said was literally, when you're afraid to publish something that's really true to who you are, that is going to be impactful, and you start to partner with fear, that's a sign that it's going to empower someone. It's going to touch someone's life. And, sometimes we don't want to say things like, oh, how can I empower you today? Because it sounds silly, right? To us, it sounds silly, but on the receiving end, it actually does give an element of transformation to just that interaction. And, if I know you heard me talk about this before, you must know that what you say, think, believe, do, it also, that's a sales pitch to yourself. That is a sales pitch to yourself. So your conscious mind is selling to yourself all the time. So when you say, I'm not going to do this because I'm afraid, then fear is going to permeate every element of your day, your work life, your personal life, etc. So you want to be careful and be aware and intentional with what you're thinking, saying, doing, feeling, and believing.
I want to shout out Terry DeWalt Frederick, who chimed in saying facing fears. What I love about Terry is, now I'm, full disclosure, Terry is one of my clients. Terry's in my program. Terry's amazing, but Terry made the decision, like she probably heard 3 words come out of my mouth and she was like, yes, like that woman just didn't, no hesitation, no thinking. I was like, here's what my program, she's yes. And she just came right in and she just, I'll tell you what, if you're watching this right now, live or hashtag in the replay, I'm holding my Growth Galvanized cup, by the way. I can't let it go. I want you to, everybody should friend Terry DeWalt Frederick, and you should go and look at the content she creates on Facebook. It's going to blow your mind what this woman does. And that's amazing. So here, after I'm done shouting her up, here is a reason that you always want to be making decisions and acting quickly. This is not my big reveal at the end, by the way. That's coming up in about 3 minutes. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you develop a sixth sense about the decisions that you have to make. And because listen, not every decision you make is going to be a good one, and you're going to fail, and you've got to kind of hedge the bets that you make. But if you're constantly making decisions, you're going to get better at finding the characteristics of the decisions that you're making. Like, for example, you're looking at something, you're looking at reviews from other people that have had it, you're looking at the experience of the person who's delivering it, whatever it is. All of these things suddenly just go in your brain, and you rapidly are making the harder decisions on and on and on. So it's like a practice mechanism, Bridget.
Oh, absolutely. It's called new programming in my program. Step into that new programming. And so, if I could share one action step that I would give to the people who are listening is start to notice when you're saying, I don't know, and flip the switch and turn it to I do know, and add something that you do know. And if you're feeling like this welling up of confusion, immediately put a pen to paper, because your subconscious mind will allow what's actually going on to surface, or else your old programming with your fears, with sabotage, with your old thinking will take over. So flip the switch. And I came up with that coaching term, by the way, guys. Everyone's probably using it.
No one's ever said that before?
No, they probably.
He's trying to call you out right now, Reggie. He's trying to call you out. Like,
it's mine, all right? It's mine. So give yourself a shift and literally just step into if you find yourself saying, I don't know, warning bells should go off in your brain that says, oh no, I'm partnering with confusion, which means that's going to stop me from making decisions, which stops me from launching into action and committing to those things that will really partner me with the person I'm meant to be right now.
We've been talking tonight about how your ability to make decisions and act quickly is the key differentiator with you and how successful you're going to be as an entrepreneur. Stephen, we're coming up at the bottom of the hour. Both Bridget and I have 8:30 appointments that we got to get to. So Stephen, what are things that people can do right now to start making decisions and acting quickly? What's one characteristic they could
I'm going to recommend, this is going to sound so silly to you guys, but create folders, create folders for everything, and create some folders on your computer for things that you want to accomplish, things that aren't even in those folders yet. Because what's going to happen is as you start to create those, you're going to fill those gaps, but you've got to find the triggers that really make you guys make decisions and act on those decisions, and really act on them. Create deadlines, create a deadline, give yourself a deadline, write it down and say, I'm going to show this person this article at this day. This is my drop dead date. We'd always talked about drop dead days, meaning like, if it's not done by this day, the whole world's going to drop dead, so make sure that you give yourself those deadlines and stick to them.
That's brilliant. Got a couple of love it's in the chat. Very well put. So listen, I promised you a big reveal before I hand it off to Bridget to close out the show. And it is this. And listen, I moved my microphone in front of me because that's how serious I am about this. Every single one of you, stop typing in the comments and listen to the words I'm about to say to you, because this will profoundly impact the rest of your life if you're able to do this. Your ability to make decisions and act quickly, consistently, every single time is going to build characteristics in you that attract others who make decisions and act quickly. And when you want to build a business, you want to work with the people who are ready to move and who are ready to press down on the gas. And those are the people who can make decisions and act quickly. And if you start doing it right now, and that is who you become, you are going to attract to you the people who are just like that. And this is true of everything in your business, but we're only focused on making decisions and acting quickly. And if you start doing it now, you are going to attract to you the clients who will make the decision and act quickly to work with you. Bridget, we've been talking about making decisions and acting quickly. We're at the bottom of the hour. Give us your final thoughts. And as always, get the final word.
It's time to level up, make good decisions, and launch into rigorous action